Russia claims heavy Ukrainian losses in border clashes at Kursk. The Russian Ministry of Defense has announced that Ukraine suffered significant losses in recent clashes near the Kursk border. According to Moscow, Ukraine lost up to 400 soldiers and a substantial amount of military equipment, including tanks, combat vehicles, artillery, drones, and an air defense radar, in a single day. In a statement reported by Sputnik on December 29th, the Russian Ministry of Defense said, in the past 24 hours, the Ukrainian armed forces have lost up to 400 troops, 3 tanks, 3 infantry fighting vehicles, 1 armored combat vehicle, 14 motor vehicles, 4 artillery systems, 1 mortar, 13 first-person view FPV drones, and 1 air defense radar. This announcement follows similar claims by Russia in the ongoing conflict near Kursk. Since Ukraine launched its border raid campaign in August 2023, Moscow asserts that the total number of Ukrainian troops killed in this area has exceeded 45,120 soldiers, along with significant military equipment destroyed. These figures, if verified, underscore the intense and brutal nature of the fighting in this strategically important region along the Russia-Ukraine border, repelling Ukrainian counterattacks. In addition to reporting Ukrainian losses, the Russian Ministry of Defense stated that its forces had repelled 3 counterattacks by Ukrainian forces along the Kursk border on December 29th. The counterattacks reportedly targeted 11 border settlements in Russia and the Sumy region of Ukraine. According to Russia, these counteroffensives resulted in heavy losses of personnel and equipment for Ukraine. The continued success of Russian forces in Kursk, as claimed by Moscow, highlights their efforts to reinforce defensive lines along the western border and thwart further Ukrainian assaults. This border region remains a key strategic area where Ukraine has conducted repeated drone and artillery attacks targeting Russian infrastructure and military positions. Slovak perspective: Ukraine may have to cede territory. In a related development, Slovakia's defense minister, Robert Kalikay, made a noteworthy statement about the future of the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Speaking on TAR3 television, Kalikay suggested that the current battlefield dynamics indicate that Ukraine might eventually have to cede part of its territory to achieve peace. Slovakia is keen on ending the hostilities and establishing an immediate ceasefire between Moscow and Kyiv. Following that, peace negotiations should take place. Ukraine's development after the conflict is more important than maintaining future borderlines, Kalikay emphasized. Previously, Slovakia's President Peter Pellegrini also urged Moscow and Kyiv to negotiate, suggesting that territorial concessions might be a necessary compromise for lasting peace. These perspectives reflect a shift in attitudes within some European countries, as leaders increasingly prioritize de-escalation and peace efforts, even if it comes at the expense of Ukraine's territorial integrity. Reactions and international implications. Ukraine has not officially responded to the statements made by Slovak officials. However, Kyiv has consistently maintained a firm stance on defending its sovereignty and territorial integrity, including reclaiming areas currently under Russian control. The comments from Slovakia may spark debate within the European Union, EU, and NATO, as these organizations have been staunch supporters of Ukraine. Some member states, like Poland and the Baltic countries, have strongly opposed any notion of territorial concessions, arguing that such moves could set a dangerous precedent and encourage further aggression in the future. Outlook on the Kursk frontline and the conflict's future. The Kursk battlefield. The fighting in Kursk and other border areas is expected to remain intense. Russia's claims of inflicting heavy losses on Ukraine appear to be part of a broader strategy to showcase its military strength and control over the region. However, Ukraine is likely to adjust its tactics, employing surprise counterattacks to apply pressure on Russian defenses. Ukraine's challenges. Ukraine faces significant challenges as it contends with ongoing battles in Kursk, Donetsk, and Zaporizhzhia. Nonetheless, Western support, especially in terms of weapons and training, will remain crucial in sustaining Ukraine's ability to hold its ground and conduct operations. International perspectives. Calls for territorial concessions, such as those from Slovakia, may increase diplomatic pressure on Ukraine. However, such ideas risk creating divisions among Ukraine's allies, particularly as war fatigue grows in some countries. Prospects for peace. While peace talks continue to be advocated by several nations, the short-term outlook for a diplomatic resolution remains bleak. Both Russia and Ukraine show no signs of compromising, and the conflict is likely to persist, causing significant losses on both sides. Conclusion. The clashes at Kursk and Russia's claims of Ukrainian losses highlight the ongoing intensity of the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Moscow's repeated announcements of heavy Ukrainian casualties may be part of a narrative aimed at bolstering domestic morale and increasing pressure on Kyiv. However, the reality on the ground will depend on a range of factors, including the military capabilities of both sides, the level of international support Ukraine receives, and the broader geopolitical landscape. The Kursk region will likely remain a critical hotspot, shaping the conflict's trajectory and influencing the wider strategic dynamics of the war. This is War Records, where history is etched through timeless battles. Don't forget to follow us to uncover legendary stories.